Hi there. My name is Lee Bates. I'm from Stettler, Alberta. I'm a farmer and a businessman.
Okay, so Lee, um, when did you know? When did you find out about this, and when did you know you wanted to be a part of it?
Uh, well, there was talks over the internet for probably 3 weeks prior to the convoy really getting going. Um, my thing was, I wanted to make sure that they were doing it for all the right reasons. So, we talked throughout the weeks, and when it come time to leave, for me, it was a no-brainer. My wife was super supportive.
Very nice. And what was the experience like going through the towns, like the smaller towns on the way up?
The smaller towns were incredible. Uh, to be honest, I had never seen unity like that in this country ever. The support that was shown, the love, the atmosphere, everything about it told me that we were doing the right thing. The small towns come out in droves, and it wasn't even just the small towns; it was the smaller communities that were off the highways that found their way to the sides of the roads um, to show their support. And I thought that was the coolest thing. And I must admit, I cried multiple times along this journey.
Hmm. Yeah, and how would you describe the energy in downtown Ottawa?
Infectious, for one. Uh, it's something it's very hard to articulate because if you're not there, you don't really know. But for me, it was more of a vibration. Um, the energy was so all consuming. I found it hard to sleep, to be honest with you. But it didn't matter. You were so jazzed up because the energy was so strong, the vibe was so strong, and the love and the peace that everybody had toward one another epitomized what Canadians, I feel, are all about.
Oh yeah. And did you know anyone prior to going down, or did you go by yourself? Or
Well, I made the conscious decision to go by myself. My cousin Casey Goose, he jumped on board. I think we felt having a second driver would be beneficial. So yeah, it was a no-brainer, and we met Chris in Medicine Hat on Monday, and the rest is history.
oh, so essentially you knew nobody. That's just a calling that you had that you wanted to be there.
Yes, my heart pulled me there, my soul, I guess, if you will. I've never felt anything quite like it before, and I just knew that I had to be there.
Very nice. And did you know how long you were going to be gone?
I had no idea how long I was going to be gone. I packed rations for a month, thinking you never know. Um, did I think that we were going to have the support that we had? No. Uh, I'll tell you this: I didn't use a single stitch of our rations. The food and the generosity that was bestowed upon us was surreal.
Wow, yeah. And so now you've been home for a couple days. What's it like being like kind of being home versus being in Ottawa for a month?
Well, I tell you what, it's always nice being home, for one, and my family for me is everything. So to be around them it was crucial. But I got to admit, it's hard to reincorporate yourself into that kind of atmosphere when there's still these blockades put up by our governments and municipalities and businesses for that matter. And we got a long way to go. But it's one of those things that when you're downtown Ottawa and you're living the free life, to come back to something with boundaries and barriers and such, it's very difficult to integrate. To be honest.
And how old are your kids?
I have a 11-year-old, a 13-year-old, and a 22-year-old daughter,
Oh,
and I
wow.
have two beautiful grandsons.
Oh, nice. Oh, wow. They must have been excited to see you when you got back.
Oh, good heavens, yes.
Yeah. And what do you feel like what do you feel is like accomplished down in Ottawa? Like, what do you feel like for yourself and everybody?
So I can't speak for everybody, but personally, I feel that we did a number of things. We exposed the mainstream media. We exposed our liberal government's lack of compassion towards its citizens. Um, we exposed the need for unity in this country, and I think we accomplished that. Um, would I have liked to have seen more? Yes, of course, but these are the initial stages of what I think is going to be an ongoing movement of peace, love, and unity.
Yeah, my name's Luke Kenzie. I am from Didsbury, Alberta, and I own a mechanic business there.
Yeah, and when did you find out about the convoy? And when did you know you wanted to go?
I found out about the convoy about 2 days before it started. I had an email from a lady I know at a company we deal with,
Yeah.
and I let my brother know. I sent the email to my brother first, and he decided that he wanted to go to Ottawa, but there was no way that I was going because I had engine jobs and lots of stuff going on at the shop there. So I don't leave very often. And then the night before everything was gonna leave there, I fell asleep at about 10, and I woke up at 1, and I woke my wife up and I said, I got to go to Ottawa. And she said, yeah, I know. And she went back to sleep. So then I decided, yep, I'm going to Ottawa. So yeah.
Now, other than your brother, did you know anyone else that was going down, or?
I didn't. No. Yeah, just my brother, pretty much. You bet.
Wow, that's awesome. And what was the experience like rolling through all the small towns?
Very overwhelming. We didn't really realize how much support there was. Um, well, lots of the time you were speechless going through towns because you just didn't know the feeling of the reaction of people with the whole convoy. It was pretty neat. Yeah.
And what did you feel the vibe was like in Ottawa downtown?
The vibe downtown Ottawa, it was like a big party. Everybody was hugging each other. They're all having fun. Um, there's bouncy castles in the streets. There's so much food. Um, Everybody was being fed. It was an experience of a lifetime. I wish everybody could have experienced it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and did you know how long you were going to be gone?
I had no idea. We had no plans, no nothing. We just got in the truck and got going.
Now, I remember you telling me you had left, and then you came back. So could you elaborate on that a little bit?
I did. I was there for 2.5 weeks, and then I had to get back to the shop just to get the guys in order and everything. And then there was a few people there that needed to go home, and other mechanics had showed up. So I felt that I could leave, and then I was home for about 4 days, and then there was just a lot of support at home that came in. So I did feel a calling that I needed to go back to Ottawa, and that was at the point that Emergency Act had come in. So I helped a lot with locations outside of Ottawa that the trucks could go and planned with leads there.
Wow. Yeah, and what do you feel was accomplished in Ottawa?
Well, lots of people. It revealed a lot of stuff for people. I guess it was an awakening that needed to happen. There's lots of people didn't realize how much tyranny there is, and the overreach of law, I guess. And I don't know. There's just a lot more positive in our communities, a lot more positive in the world, and it's something that's very important that needed to happen.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything else you feel like you'd like to share?
Basically, for people be positive, talk to each other, strike up conversation, be kind, and not everybody's going to agree, but you can always have a conversation with them and be a friend, and that's how we all get united, and that's how we win this battle.
Hi, my name's Nicole Hunt. I'm from Medstead, Saskatchewan.
Hi, Nicole.
Hi.
So when did you hear about the convoy, and when did you know you wanted to join?
I think I've heard about it about a week before. It was going to come through North Battleford on January 24th. And I read a little bit about it and researched about it, and I felt like it was something I wanted to join. My husband and I are very passionate about getting the mandates dropped and giving everybody freedom of choice of what they want to do with their health and personal lives. So I kind of felt like it was the right thing to do, to stand up and fight for those freedoms.
Nice. And so what would you say the support was like rolling through the towns?
Something I never expected. I really didn't realize how big this movement was and how much people out there thought the same way as the same as us. Every town that we went through, the support grew bigger and bigger. The signs got bigger. There was more flags, more people. The ditches were lined up, and it went on for miles longer. I never expected it, and it was very heartwarming and very emotional at times too. That I never expected to have that kind of support. I never realized that many people thought the same way as my husband and I did.
Mm-hmm, nice. And what would you say the energy was like downtown Ottawa?
It was a sense of pride and excitement at the same time. Everyone was extremely proud, respectful, and dignified, and all had the same goal down there, despite what their backgrounds were or what their reasonings for coming to the convoy and supporting it. Everyone had the same common goal and the same respect level for one another. And I've never felt more safe in my life. I have my two kids down there with me, a 10-year-old and an 8-year-old. And I have never felt harmed, never felt scared or worried from any of my convoyers. They became family quite quickly and instantly.
Nice. And did you know how long you were going to be gone?
I was supposed to only go from North Battleford to Regina for one night just to show support with the convoyers. That was my part that I was going to do, and that's all I thought I could do. Once I joined the convoy, I thought we can go a little bit further, and it was actually my kids that asked me to go further, and I said a little bit further, not much more. We got lots of work to do. And then we just kind of kept on going, and we just couldn't turn around. Every person that asked us to keep fighting for their freedom, I just felt like compelled. I had to go and do it. So one day turned into 1 month. Never expected anything else.
Wow. And now I was under the impression you have your own truck.
Yes, I do. Yes. I bought my truck actually just 2 weeks before the convoy started. So it was kind of a new adventure for me. I've been driving truck for about 1.5 years commercially. And but then when I bought my own truck, it was a used truck. So it was kind of a big adventure just to go and take it on, and hopefully everything worked. But I felt extremely comfortable because all these truckers band together really quickly and really easily over the same cause. And I had no doubt they wouldn't stop and help me if something were to happen with it.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
And what do you feel was accomplished in Ottawa when we were there?
I think our original goal was just to get the mandates dropped, or at least get the governments talking and kind of push the boundaries a little bit with that. And I think in the long run, though, and something that we never expected, was we exposed the government and a lot of the corruption we exposed a lot of corruption in the police force and the media as well. And we also exposed a lot of smaller groups like Antifa or just other smaller groups, whatever, that expose them and the poor behavior that they portray.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Was there anything else you'd like to add, or?
The fight's not over. This is just the beginning thing. And we're going to continue fighting this fight for freedom with a dignified way and with respect. And this is a band of family that's come together very easily. And we have all vowed to each other and to the world, to the whole entire country and beyond, that we will always fight and continue to fight for this.
Okay, so I'm here with
Stuart.
Stuart. Nice to meet you.
Stuart Wiersma from Lacombe, Alberta.
Okay.
# Farmer Stew.
Farmer Stew. So that's your handle then, your hashtag?
That became my handle, yeah, on the road, guys. We were trying to decipher how to talk to guys because there's James, there's Peter, there's Frank, there's Fred. You can't remember their names.
Right,
So
yeah.
I very rarely remember somebody's real name.
Okay.
I have them saved in my contacts as like Ace or Ghost Rider or Smoke Show. I never even knew their real name. So it's kind of neat. Now we can put faces to names, right? As we meet guys, like as we were meeting guys 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, you go, oh, shake their hand. I heard his name on the radio, but I didn't know who he was. So
Right, yeah. No, that's so when did you hear about the convoy? Like,
So I first heard about the convoy on the Thursday night. That was we left Monday, which I believe was the 29th, I think, if you look on the calendar. Anyway, I first heard about it on that Thursday night. We went to CanadaUnity.com and checked out their website, and I had a look at it, and I thought, this is something that's pretty important, but I didn't understand it at that time. Went home, kind of joked around with my wife, and kind of thought, maybe I should go to Ottawa. What do we think? What do we want to do? Friday night, we'd still been kind of searching about it in our hearts and asking ourselves, what should we do? My wife, we just had a new baby girl born December 7th, so she had a 2-month-old baby or a month-and-a-half-old baby. She wanted to come, and we sat down Saturday morning. Actually, Friday night, I phoned one of my friends and I said, hey, can you order me an Alberta flag? I'm leaving. I'm going in the convoy on Monday morning. So he went and searched the internet across the world, found me a big Alberta flag. Saturday morning, we sat down at the table with our kids, with our family. We were having bacon or sausage and eggs, and we prayed and had devotions. And after we read the Bible and had some devotions, the kids went on their way and went playing. And I just said to my wife, I said, I gotta go. And she said, I know.
I know. Right. And so then that's it. You just picked up and left? And away
Yeah,
you
packed
went?
a couple coolers, loaded up the semi, put some weight blocks on the semi, bit of food, bit of water, change of clothes, and Saturday morning we left Staples parking lot in Red Deer at 5:30 in the morning.
Wow, okay. And so what was this experience like?
Which, by the way,
when you were rolling down the, like through the small towns and stuff? Like,
So like when we left, those thoughts kept rolling through your head, like what on earth am I doing? Right, like 5:30 in the morning, Staples parking lot. There's maybe 15 people. Then all of a sudden there's 20 people. Then there was 25 people. And my MP came out. Blaine Culkins, my MP, came out and shook my hand there. I had met him the night before on Sunday night when the Northern convoy rolled through. Right, they went all the way down to Calgary. I told him we're leaving Red Deer tomorrow, Staples at 5:30, and he came down, shook my hand, and then you kind of knew already. Okay, there's guys here in government who actually support this, but they're not out there speaking it loudly yet, right? They're waiting to see what happens.
right.
We went down to Calgary, met up in Calgary, and that's where I met a few of these guys. Like they were waiting on the side of the 4-lane there, on right by Carstairs, Didsbury overpass, Olds overpass.
Wow.
And we start hearing radio chatter, and they jump in. We got to Calgary, and it was just like, whoa, they're like, this is big. And we left Calgary out to Medicine Hat. They fed us lunch, and it's like, yeah, Medicine Hat is bigger than Calgary. Kept on going down the road. We get out into the middle of Saskatchewan at 23, 25 below. And there's grid roads. The Hutterites have come up with their vans. They've got their little school bus vans, and the kids are out dressed up, waving, yelling, honking. We get out to Swift Current that night, and it's cold now. I stopped after Swift Current and stopped to where there was a fire on the side of the road and a family there.
Yeah.
And
Swift Current, you said?
stopped just after Swift Current, and I just pulled off in the approach and ran down through the ditch to talk to these people. I'm like, I have to talk to them. Like, why are you here?
Yeah.
Why are they on the road? The family, kids, they're playing. They had a big bonfire going, and they're asking me like, what are you doing? Like, we're asking each other, what are we doing? But we're all out here for the same reason.
Right.
And they'd been there for 5.5 hours.
Whoa, waiting for you guys.
Yeah.
Wow. 5.5 hours.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. That and so what was their response like when you were asking what they were doing just out?
Yeah, they said, we heard that there were some people, there's a convoy going to Ottawa because we want our freedoms back. We can't fly in this country. We can't travel. Are we in a free country? Aren't we? And it only continued to grow. We got through Regina late at night. It was 11:30 at Regina. It was cold. Met a few guys there. Crackpot Farmer is one of them. CB, Chris Barber, you guys all know him. Carried on to Winnipeg, and I was amazed at Winnipeg when we got to Winnipeg. It took 3 hours to get from Headingley on the west side to Deacon's Corner on the east side on the ring road.
Oh wow.
Took me 3 hours.
Just because all the supporters were alongside of the road, or
Oh yeah, coming into the west side of Winnipeg, they were right out on the edge of the road. Like there was people that were throwing Gatorade through the window. If you rolled down your window, you had to be aware because there was a muffin or a cookie or a Gatorade that was going to whack you in the head if you weren't paying attention. And I mean, they were right on the line. Like they were waving flags. You had to crawl through there.
Wow.
There was that much support in Winnipeg.
Now, how did that make you feel? Like, how were you feeling when you were going through there?
Well, it just constantly reinforced that you were not doing this. Like, you know, when you left and this whole period in the last 2 years, you kind of felt like you're alone. You're the only guy who feels that way.
Mhm.
You feel something's wrong, but you don't know how to express yourself. And every time that continued to grow, every town you went, that just bolstered that support. It just told you, like in Brandon, they gave us lunch bags in Brandon and they had notes. Like I've been carrying this around with me since I got back from Ottawa. I keep it in my pocket. It's a letter. It says, "Go with God." This is dated January 23, 2022. It says, "We are in a war to be sure. It is my hope and prayer that you will arm yourselves with these scriptures because what you are fighting for is more than politics, people, and money. It's against Satan himself. Trucks alone won't win it. This war needs to be fought on our knees as well. Commit your ways to the Lord Jesus Christ. There is no other time than this." And it's got Galatians 5, verse 1, Ephesians 6, verse 12, Psalm 37, verse 5, and Isaiah 6, verse 8.
Wow. And
And
that came with a lunchbox.
yeah,
That was delivered in your truck.
yeah, like they would just, like the women, the men, the children, they were coming out with their cars with big Tupperware tubs full of lunch bags all lined up. We got little Valentine's cards with notes written on them. I got letters of trucks, 3 or 4 or 5-year-old kids drawing a truck picture saying, "Thank you, truckers," and then you flip it over and on the back it says, "God bless you."
Wow.
And every single time you had that little bit of doubt, like, am I doing this for the wrong reason? Why am I going? What am I doing? And every single time you've seen another supporter, you've seen another person waving, you've seen a mom, like we seen moms with little 6-month-old babies in snugglies, right? Wrapped up tight, down the road, waving and yelling as loud as they could. And that just, after Winnipeg, the night we got to Kenora, guys started talking with some trucks and having some time just to calm down and get off the road. In Kenora, everybody knew. They knew when you talk to them, we have to go, and they cannot stop this. They can't. They can say whatever they want now. We've already won.